YouTube, it's Brian Phillips, something all new from E-flite. Look at this huge, beautiful thing. 1.7 meters of super timber, not turbo timber. So you remember the old nose matched with the new type of wing, really cool. Oh, by the way, this wing comes off in about 5 seconds with a quick release right there. Both sides come off, they detach from the center. And this, oh yeah, the tail does too, amazing. Horizontal stab comes off. Removable leading edge slats can be replaced with Vortex generators. This thing also, as usual on new, comes with reverse. And without further ado, we're gonna take off. Oh, did you show them the squishy tires? Those are pneumatic, guys. Let's not use no stinking runway. You ready?
Yep.
Get it on the mains, Virgin Flight, here it is, guys. Yeah, that's got a little bit of power, 1,700 millimeters of beautiful yellow, white, and black. This is the first flight we've had with ours right now.
Wow.
And we have a crazy fog condition this morning. So what a way to start. And you know, look at those wet pneumatic tires. Let's go over here, over the war zone. What the heck happened there last night? All I know is it was wet. Amazing. So guys, super timber, absolutely phenomenal. Already in the air, feels super light on its feet, and it's heavy. That's about 40% throttle. There's unlimited vertical. I can say that because I am climbing out away from a stall. Wasn't a stall, I was just stopped. Sorry, I misspoke, folks. Takeoff flaps, landing flaps. Watch this, guys. Watch those flaps. Watch those flaps, they're huge. And I don't even have them as far as I need, or I could. Oh, it's like Timber X meets Turbo Timber meets Timber SWS meets Ultra Micro Timber meets whichever one there was. What's the other one?
I don't know.
The Twin Timber.
Yep. Maybe that's why they call it the super timber.
Oh, yes. Even when you hit it hard. Guys, I'm trying not to get into the sun. The sun is just with this weird fog. What a strange circumstance to film in. So I'm gonna just tell you this, guys. If you haven't experienced the timber, this is one of the best flying. It's gonna do exactly what you want. Exactly. Let's see the upside down flight performance, actually. Oh, guys, we got symmetry on the elevator. Look at this, I'm like 10%, maybe less to keep it upside down. Oh, and inside out with Vortex, with leading edge slats. I did not expect that to work. Woo! Sorry, I just needed a little bit of trim, and I caught that wind. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. Oh, by the way, you see the lights on the inboard portion, right above the splaying landing gear, that are serviceable, folks. We're talking about landing gear that are plastic fairings that go down to a pneumatic tire that weighs almost exactly or less than the foam ones. That is phenomenal. No landing for you. Oh, I gotta try to get a flat spin. Hard on it. I do notice a kind of a weird tendency when I come out of that, and I think it's the wind. Do you see what I'm talking about? Okay, oh, don't forget, we have safe. So I'm in safe right now, so watch this, guys. Look, let go of the sticks, what's it do? Flies perfectly without even looking. There it goes, guys. Hey, have fun. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Let go of the sticks, what's it do? Here's full landing flaps, watch that thing slow down. We need more correction, down elevator correction, by the way. Okay, so with safe on, look at the down. That's 50% elevator. That's about 100%. I had to back off to avoid the cherry. Oh my goodness, that was not even bad. And safe was on, amazing. Okay, I'm out of AS3X and safe, which we'll show you exactly how to do. This thing will jank it. Holy cow, that thing gets wonky if you want it to. And we are flying in fog, folks. Look at this. We are behind the fog. Oh, that is so cool. Going back to AS3X and just look how much more locked in it feels and looks. The same jank maneuver. Look at this. Oh, it's like it didn't even happen. So cool. And we have one of our wonderful postal service workers here delivering some more goodies. Let's give them a pass. I don't think they're interested. They're just like, get me out of this truck.
Oh, that fog is.
That is so cool.
Me, though.
Is it gonna screw up your focus?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like it's not even there. That is so cool. Oh, okay, so this is our 5-minute timer. Oh, but don't forget, full range telemetry. So basically, oh no, that's not true. We do have the 637 TA, which means we lose barometer. Look at that, guys, probably one of the smoothest, softest landings you can have because this thing has pneumatic tires. You couldn't even tell that I crashed it into the ground. And I gotta say, no matter what surface you're flying from, these glued pneumatic tires, that means that they're glued on a rim, folks. A lot of the pneumatic tires we've gotten in the past, the Dubros, not trying to poo-poo them, I have them on a lot of planes. They're very good, but they are heavy. And did you guys see how it just took it like a man? Get it on the mains, walk the dog. Guys, I gotta say, this thing is phenomenal. Okay, let's do some slower flight performance. I do feel like 3,200, where we put it, gives this thing some legs, guys. It is just crazy what you can do with this thing. I almost want it to be heavier. I kind of want it to have a little bit bigger battery, a little bit more nose heavy. We've got the CG right in the middle. This would be perfect for people that want to do crazy 3D stuff. I'm not a huge 3D pilot. Ooh, that felt kind of doggy there. What the heck was that? I'm gonna go into, actually, you know what? Let's just take a landing. I love takeoffs and landings with the timber. Might as well bring it right to our feet, okay? The wind is with my plane right now, of course, which is kind of goofy. Full thrust reverse. Now, thrust reverse is really handy when you're on floats. Floats don't come in the box, but it comes with all the hardware to make the floats work. Telemetry is gonna be hard for you guys to see with where the sun's sitting.
I got it.
But I'm just gonna bring it over here. There it is. Oh, dang it, I went past it, guys. There it is. Yeah, we still have power, so we're gonna keep flying. Now, I did elapse my 5-minute timer, obviously, and so far we are at 1 minute and 57 past. A little bit of downtime because we're talking on the ground, but I gotta say, let's do a stall takeoff, full landing flaps. I'm gonna go ahead and give her heck, get her on the mains, and then go crazy. I'm gonna probably be off the ground by the time I hit that crack. Well, yeah, you got it. Yeah, I guess I could be definitely by that crack now. I'm cheating. I didn't mean to do that, folks. Is that about where it was? Or
no, you were closer to the crack.
Okay, you guys think that's good?
Yep.
All right, here it goes, guys. Oh, I didn't get it. I screwed it up. I am definitely not going to be in Super Stall Championships. Oh, so by the way, I know some of you guys are really worried about this. We replaced our flag last night. It needs to get inflated a few times before it gets out of that limp status. And that's why it's kind of acting weird. Those things are kite tails. That's what we use, and they work really nice. Our last one was destroyed, folks. Okay, so full landing flaps. Guys, I gotta say, I love the way this thing comes down because it's just like a real plane. It even has the soft tires. Oh my goodness, the tail wheel is soft, folks. And yes, I am trying to cram it down because that's what most of us are gonna do. So I'm gonna try this and just see if I can grease one, okay? So a little bit of throttle. I'm gonna go to takeoff flaps. There's just like so much flap action, guys. I've managed to scrape the tip. Thank God they put plastic on it. Ooh! Cutting the grass on YouTube. This is what we do best on Brian Phillips RC. Screw things up that should be easy. Throttle cuts on. Guys, this plane is fantastic. I got to show you while it's on the ground. Let's show you real quick. Check out that tire. I just sprayed grass all over it. It is so cool. Look at this. I can pinch my fingers to where they're touching. These are not like what we've seen in the past. They are legit. And the 3-bladed prop is to die for. And look at the clearance. That's pretty dang good clearance. Somebody needs to cut this grass. Who does that around here?
I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna take off from here. Let's go into the shade. Oh no, you gotta stay out, you say. So
Yeah.
take off flaps. We'll go full landing flaps. Now watch this STOL take off. You guys got to remember, my battery is probably close to spent. I want to get those wheels cleaned off. Woo! That was a crazy stall. Guys, did you see it? I'm telling you what, that was a nutty stall. I'm just trying to shake the water off and I about ran into my own pole. Man, I gotta say, I feel like we need to go one clip forward and this thing would feel locked in. And you know what's weird about this? You know, I always felt like the Timber 1.5 flew good, but I gotta say, this thing really marries the balance between the insane levels of control authority that you get with the twin Timber 1.6 with the way more modest 1.5. And then it also marries in a little bit of accentuating power from the Timber X or the Timber Knight X, okay? So remember, we're flying this on 3200 6S, folks. You can fly it on 4S if you want, if you've only got 4S in your inventory. And by the way, I don't know if you saw that, but did you see how touchy it was on the elevator? I just about smacked the surface. And that's because it's just quite touchy at one spot. And I don't know if I'm catching wind or if it's just the CG is kind of making it a little bit more pitch sensitive than I like in my personal preferences. I am in my middle setting for my expo and dual rates, so that'd be a 10% expo and no adjustment to the rate. It's just 100% on the rates. And I gotta say one thing, guys. I love the color. If anybody makes fun of this being like a bad color scheme, just don't tell me about it because I love it. The red is good. Whoa, did you see that? It did it again. What the heck? Oh my goodness. So there is definitely, you can get into a high-speed stall just like the Timber X, and I think it's the wing design. You get into this spot where you're washed out. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I really would like to identify it. And you see how it's leaning upward? Look at that thing, the angle of attack. We do have a little bit of wind coming out over the pond. Let's show the people real quick. What's happening is it's blowing in my plane's face right now. I'm flying into it. Look, all the fog is carried away. All right, let's try hitting this hill. Takeoff flaps. I did set my takeoff flaps a lot lower. Okay, full landing flaps, gotta slow it down. That thing just wants to carry. Okay, now out of the flaps. And there it is, guys. That grass is tall, folks. I cut this area about a week ago, but that area I touched down on is tall grass. Okay, let's try taking off from that same hill. Okay, takeoff flaps only. I'm gonna go ahead and ride the elevator just a little so I don't make a huge mess. Get it off the ground quick and then just relax into the throttle. Outside this time toward the runway. Look at that, nice, beautiful locked in knife edge. I think I gotta figure out what bad habit I have that's causing it to behave in the pullout. And I don't know if it's just the elevator settings or if I'm just like riding it maybe a little bit too hard, get into ground effect, get a gust of wind, or exactly what I'm doing wrong, I'm not sure. But I'm gonna try to replicate it. I'm gonna go to a little bit of altitude, couple mistakes high. Now, we're not gonna have ground effect to help. Sorry, blue skies. Are you gonna be okay for focus?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it this way. Okay, so going down, now pull out. You guys see what happens? Holy cow, that's scary. Do you see how it bites hard? Watch this. Even up there, it did it. You see what happened? Holy crap.
That was weird.
Guys, watch this. I am not used to that with AS3X. Okay, so watch this. I'm gonna just go down a little bit. Now watch this. Pull up. Look at that. That's what's happening to me. And I'm like, holy crap, it's scary. I wonder if my elevator's not connected all the way or something. Holy cow. Man, that gets the heart rate going. Even when you're doing it on purpose at altitude, and I had that happen like 3 times on the way down close to the runway. I am very lucky to be looking at that beautiful, beautiful plane. Oh, yes. I can't even get a good landing because I'm such a dork. All right, we're gonna try it again. Folks, this plane is everything you want it to be. I would like to identify that elevator thing though. Full landing flaps this time. Let's just bring it and slow it down. Whoa! There it is, guys. Now, I gotta say, I didn't make it to the runway there, mostly because I'm not being a good pilot today. 9 minutes, 38, 39, past 5. A little bit of downtime. We have manned aircraft we're trying to respect, and it is exactly straight up about 3,000 feet, and we still have power, so we're gonna go for just a minute longer, keeping in mind this is 3200 6S. That's not a huge pack, guys. This thing will fly easily with a 5,000, but they recommend the 3200 probably because the people that are recommending it like to do more 3D crazy stuff. I actually don't particularly care for that. It's not my primary flying style. Oh, birds. And I can't help but feel, man, I love my takeoff flap settings. I love the takeoff flap settings.
And you deviated a little bit from the manual, right?
I did, yep. I did on that, guys. If you want to see it, unbox build radio setup. Should have been published here so you can watch it whenever you're ready, if you want to. Full landing flaps. And a little thrust reverse! Okay, so I gotta say, the thrust reverse is extremely effective. That is a super stiff and beautiful 3-bladed prop. The only bummer was that it's not painted on the tips. And we just recently had a plane that had painted tips and I really, really, really liked it. Woo, that wind was pushing me and wind vaning. I had to give about 75% rudder to keep that thing from deviating toward the new Cherry, hun. Or that, what's that pink one? Is that a Cherry?
No, that's a prairie fire crabapple.
Yeah, that's why I don't talk about trees much.
It's okay. Pink
there we go. Good. So the 3-wheel landings get it to calm down a lot. Oh, and by the way, you can put more air pressure in. It comes with a pump, guys. What other plane do you get that comes with a pump? Okay, full landing flaps this time. We are kind of having a little bit of weird wind where it's like confused, changing directions. Oh man, I really, really want it. I want to whip this plane and get it to do what I want exactly on landings. It feels good on the sticks, guys. And you know what I love about it? I love that the pneumatic tires do help. And I'll show you. Ooh, you guys see what happened there? It will bite on the stall tendencies. I totally did not expect that. This is a timber, for goodness sakes. Okay, takeoff flaps. Full throttle, mowing the grass a little. There's our critically low, guys. You know I do it. Now it's pulsing. Okay, full landing flaps. Okay, into the takeoff flaps because I gotta get here. Out of the flaps. Okay, full landing flaps.
Did you hear it beep?
Yes, I did, and I did hear it not do the thrust reverse when I wanted to slam it to the ground for a culminating experience. Boy, it backs up great, guys.
Yeah, it does.
I said in the unbox build radio setup, those springs are not gonna last. I may have been wrong. I love being wrong about stuff like that because we have them on the Carbon Z 150T tail dragger, and the springs immediately flip over and broke on us. Or didn't break, but they just kind of got spun around and stuff. And so then it stretches out the springs. Granted, we are learning how to do reverse thrust better. And I gotta say, what an absolutely phenomenal flight experience. I would like to look at the elevator and just make sure we don't have something goof going on. Because that thing hooks together just like we've done on many other planes. Okay, throttle cuts on, I'm gonna test that. Switch G is in the forward thrust and the flaps are retracted. We are definitely out of battery. Guys, that was, just so you know, 13 minutes and 30 past 5 minus talk time probably puts us at about 15 minutes of flight time. If that's not enough to get the job done, just stick a bigger pack right in the hole because you're gonna love it. And by the way, speaking of sticking it in the hole, when you do have to load a battery, check this out, guys. It is so easy. I'm gonna do this one-handed just to prove it can be done. Look at that. And I got a tray. And check this out, plastic, 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 all the way around the edge, magnets embedded into plastic, reinforcement through the foam. It's pretty stiff, top loading. It's all the things we want in a timber, although that weird tendency, I'd like to figure it out. Let's watch this. This release pulls up, and then this battery comes out, and you are not working hard at all, okay? Now it's a little hard to do with one hand, so what I might do is I might just come out of here and lay this down on the ground. Woo! That is not a good thing to do. That's why you use throttle cut, folks. And then you can unplug. Okay, now let's talk about this for a second. The only modification we do on our planes, straight out of the box, is sometimes we do a little bit dual rates and expo different, and then sometimes we add shelf liner instead of Velcro, okay? So because the way we got this one as an early release, it was a product development one, so we didn't use the provided Velcro, we provided our own Velcro, but I think it should come with yours. Now, that's literally the only thing. I don't feel like we got it just right. I feel like this should have been one notch forward. There's 4 locking positions, but that means there's like a bunch more of these boxes, okay, to receive this. It looks like you can put it in a bunch of different positions, but you can only go where one of those locks are, okay? So watch this. You'll see what I'm talking about. See, that one's hard to get to because the wire's kind of in the way. So like if you want to go there, you can. It locks in, okay? Then you could see how your CG works. You can slide it all the way back. It's crazy, folks. But the tray's only so big, and there's only so much clearance up here. Like as much as you get in an entire plane usually.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, there's more LEDs on here. You can't even tell because it's so bright out here. It's a very, very bright sun right now. But we have a beacon on the top. We have a beacon on the top there that's white. This one flashes. On the wingtips, we have strobes that are really not stroby. It's more of like an on-off sequence on left and right. And I think they alternate, which is sweet. We have red and green. Oh, it is unplugged, just in case you guys were wondering. I don't know if you were thinking that. I kind of forgot that myself. There's also a light underneath. Then there's a light here, a light here, a light here and here, like what we've seen on previous timbers. So they equip this thing with more lights than we've seen on pretty much any of the timbers. There is a reason they call this the Super Stol. And I gotta say, with that data line and the telemetry, you're gonna be looking at some of the best out-of-the-box flying experiences you can have. Let's look at the elevator. Everything feels like it's attached. It definitely, it's there. So I may have to ask about that. I'm gonna probably have to look into that more. We hope to get a night, like evening flight, but it just kind of depends on what Mother Nature deals out today. If you guys want to support Brian Phillips RC and you want more content like this, check this out in the video description below. You can see what the pricing is. You can buy one. When you buy it, when following our links, you help support Brian Phillips RC. It's one of the best ways you can support us. Obviously, smash the like button, click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe. But if you want to support us in other ways, we have super thanks, one-time donations through YouTube, YouTube members, which is the monthly support mechanism that's built into YouTube. So thanks to our members. We have PayPal, which is one-time support that's just like gifts and stuff. And then Patreon. So those are the 4 ways that we have opened right now. But the biggest and best way that you can really support us, because at the end of the day, we want to grow this hobby. We want you guys in the hobby. We don't just want you watching from the sidelines. So, you know, if you're supporting me and a couple other guys or whatever on YouTube, we really do appreciate it. But at the end of the day, I would rather you take that and use it to buy an amazing plane or a battery or another transmitter or whatever it is you were planning on buying anyway. We never want you guys to just go out of your way and buy something just because we said it was good. We want you to buy it because you love it. And I'm gonna tell you this. If you guys have flown the Timber X and you're like, oh, it's too much. And you've flown the Timber 1.5 and you're like, hey, I need a little bit more. Holy cow, it's like they made love and released a beautiful, perfect child with blonde hair. Okay? This is the culmination. And I only wish we had these amazing landing gear on the SWS that cost twice as much. That's right, guys, twice as much almost. Almost. That being said, and hear me very carefully, I love the SWS. It's one of my favorite planes. It's huge. It's a lot bigger. Going from 1,700 millimeters to 2,000 is a big jump. The wing is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
The wing is a lot longer. The tail is a lot taller. Every aspect, don't forget, it's not just a wingspan we're talking. It's every other span, okay? Now, I gotta tell you something that's from my personal experience. The SWS is flawless in flight performance. We did have that weirdity in the elevator movement. So we'll see if we can investigate that more. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Could be washout from this wing here, from that hole. Could be because of the leading edge slats, okay? Now these are removable and you can take them off and then fly with Vortex generators if you're into lots of prop hangs and that sort of thing. You can also move the battery out without even taking the straps off, move it to a different position and go buck wild 3D, prop hangs, all that stuff. Now, I don't claim to be a 3D pilot, and I think it shows by my piloting. But I do love flying this plane. It is really fun. It checks all the boxes, and I am a sucker for yellow planes. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but I know my grandpa liked them. It's just something about, there's almost never a time in the sky, whether it's blue skies or literally we're flying through fog tonight, or this morning, I should say, that you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Now maybe the focus screwed up because you couldn't see it.
That was the fog though.
But I'm gonna tell you this.
Gorgeous.
I could see it perfectly. Now, during a sunset, during low light, gray skies, mean skies. Oh, we need to film this in like one of the tornadoes. We're getting like 40 of them a day.
Yeah, we should.
It just shows up good.
Yeah.
And there's high contrast from top to bottom. There's no orientation issues. It's very easy to tell what direction it is. Like I said, the only bad behavior I could find, and to be honest, maybe I'm doing something wrong. If you guys know, leave it in the comments below. I've never experienced that. I might be doing something wrong. I'd like to learn how not to do it again because it is a little bit scary. And I did it like one time coming here and I'm like,
yeah.
Up there, it still scared me. So I'm gonna tell you this, learn from Brian Phillips RC's mistakes. A, don't fly for 15 minutes, fly for like 12 and you'll be totally good. You'll have enough for thrust reverse. Remember, if you don't reverse, it can cause problems. Secondly, get up there and try it. See if you can get into that high-speed weird tip. Obviously the ailerons are working because, I mean, if they were working, you would know it.
Yeah.
I just can't put my finger on exactly what would cause that. And I don't think it's prop wash, but on the SWS, you have a flat wing all the way across that bolts down. Mm-hmm. And it's huge and amazing. But guys, I gotta show you this because this is one of the biggest features of this plane. Back, over, and out. Look at this, guys. Even if the thing was powered up, that's how hard it is to take this thing off for transit. And yes, you can pop these off, but I am not doing that, okay? I'm not doing that. By the way, hole positions on the ailerons, all the way out, crazy ball links, and look at the rod thickness. Grab my rod, please.
It's really thick.
Yeah, I know. I did spray it a little bit.
A little bit. It's a little.
Yeah, that's nasty. So I gotta say, serviceability everywhere on this plane. Mm-hmm. Even the wheel, not the wheel fairings, but the bogies have fairings on there, and there's screws so you can take them apart. We love this stuff, guys. It is more heavy, and look, yours truly scraped this just to prove a point. It was not poor piloting at all. I did that on purpose. I definitely did not move the stick too far and catch some wind and not respond properly. I mean, there might have been that. Wow, that plane's low, look.
Where is he? Oh, geez.
He's right there.
Yeah, he is.
I wonder if that's my buddy. So guys, if you're one of my buddies and you want to fly over my property and pretend to land or land, hit me up in the email. We'll talk about it because we are building a landing strip on this property eventually. And it's gonna come sooner than you think because all this stuff is happening so fast. Like the pond that took 9 months to build. And we could have had a baby in that time.
Oh.
That guy is close. And that is a STOL plane. Is that a carbon cub? No way. Is it an ultralight?
No. What is
Only
it, though?
on Brian Phillips RC do we have low flyers. Let's wave. Wave your wings. Wave your wings. What is that thing? Is that a Zenith? Is it a tricycle?
No.
Come on, tip those wings. You know you want to do it. Oh, that guy could land in my backyard
No
for sure.
kidding. He's like stopped.
That's what I'm saying. He's going
I
slow.
wish I could like focus on him better. You couldn't see him, but
It's that silver body.
I know. Yeah.
I don't think it's a super.
Wow.
I don't think it's a super cub.
Going so slow.
I don't think it is because the engine sounds weak.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on that note.
So, sorry, easily distracted squirrel
Yeah.
on Brian Phillips RC. But let's just say something, okay? There's others that do planes. There's others that do cars. There's others that do trucks and all these things that we do on Brian Phillips RC. But I'm gonna just tell you something. I can't speak for them, but I can speak for myself. I'm obsessed, and it shows by our investments. That guy's spinning around.
Yes, he is.
That's pretty cool. And one of the biggest investments we've made so far that's totally ludicrous was this driveway. Did you see how I spun you around?
That was the first one.
That was awesome. That was a driveway. Yes, that was supposed to be gravel.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad we made the best decision of our build right there. And then secondly, and it was funny because when we built this house, every sidewalk was, oh, we could fly from that sidewalk. Every one of them.
Yeah.
That guy is turning around.
Yes.
We'll see what he does. But then the next biggest thing by far, right?
Yeah.
On-
We can't do a whole.
We
tour
can't do
here,
a
but-
whole pond update, but we're gonna do it super, 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 super fast. This is gonna be like we just gotta show you the water level because it's amazing. Guys, the pond is here. We have a dam. This is where the dam is going to be. You can tell because it's there.
I was gonna say it's not gonna be
Okay,
there.
now the dam is not done. So you need to understand it's not done, camera crew. It's not done means that there's still many feet of overburden that needs to be put back on top of there to burden the dam. If that's not amazing, guys, we have had this thing filling for what, a week?
A week. Mm-hmm.
A week, and it's half full, guys. Half full doesn't seem like much until you realize it was probably 6 feet deep in 2 days. This is a 25-foot deep hole. And it is like almost, holy cow, that is so cool. It's gonna go to the edge of that pipe. That's when it stops filling.
Yep.
And why do you know it's gonna stop filling? Well, if it goes faster than it can get out of that 36-inch pipe, there's gonna be 2 more 30-inch pipes. 36-inch pipe. Now, I know you wanna imagine this, but me and a buddy could get in that pipe together, side by side. Now, do I wanna do that? Depends on the buddy. Okay, this is a rock they found right there, and it makes a great place to stand.
Wow. That
I
is
cannot see the end anymore.
crazy.
Oh, that is so nuts. Okay, I gotta show them.
Okay.
Let me
And-
give them a high vantage point.
Okay.
Yes, I know, the camera crew is like, hurry up, we have to go.
Well, we did
That is so cool. You guys will notice a marked difference in film quality. Yes, this is an early release for Horizon Hobby E-flite Super Timber 1.7, and this is our pond. That's a 96-foot long pipe. Good Lord overkill. And that dirt where it's ripped is about where it's gonna stop in real life when it's done. And then the drains, I don't know where the drains are gonna go. The other 2 drains are sitting way up over the hill, and we plan to film here a lot. And that is gorgeous. Now we'll give you one last quick shot, and it's gonna be down there by the silt dam, right?
Yeah, we can go down there.
Let's go.
I was gonna tell them too. There's
yeah.
a rock right here. Today
Yep.
is Friday. On Monday, our kids were playing all down through here. Our 14-year-old was standing
Yeah.
under where this rock is. They were like trying to dig the rock out in a week. Actually,
Yep.
in 5 days,
Yep.
we've gained out 4 feet, maybe
No.
4 or
No,
5 feet.
I mean, this pond's 25 feet deep at the deepest part, which right about there.
Yep.
And right now we probably have about, I'm thinking we probably have about like 10 or 12 feet.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a little bit less than that. Oh, do you want to take them the cooler way?
Sure.
Let's take them through the flowers.
These are our raspberries,
Raspberries.
wild black raspberries.
This is why we didn't want to dig a pond, is because all this beautiful stuff, these flowers,
flowers.
the moss,
We
this
saved-
moss is going to get cooked off.
Saved Brian's favorite cherry tree.
It is a beautiful cherry tree, by the way. Guys, cherry trees are nice because they leaf out early in the season, and then you can see them. And by the way, I don't know if you could tell, but it's echoey,
Yay.
echo. So that won't be annoying
So
at all for
excited
my
about
camera
the
crew.
echo.
She's thinking maybe we should drain the pond now after that. So did you show them where the water's flowing there?
Yeah. Wow.
So folks, that thing, because of the rain events we've had, we have an ephemeral stream feeding this pond. So that means it won't run all the time. And it is so cool to see this come together. And that water is flowing through the rocks from up there. And I think I may have said, how much did we determine that was again? The weight of rocks?
160
tons, right? 160 tons.
Yeah. 240,000 pounds.
240,000 pounds.
I think that's what we decided.
So it's a lot of rocks, guys. They don't look like it, but they're like small children. Each one's like an infant.
And this has been like racing all the way down to here. And now it's, yeah, you're right. It's like
almost
running
backed
on
up.
this side. It's almost to the sill pond.
So, and guys, just to be clear, this pond is not done. He still has to shape that side, but they basically got rained out. Last weekend, they got rained out. Now, I know you're here for the super timber, and we hope we're not boring you, but the truth is here on Brian Phillips RC, the reason I say we are invested in this thing that we're doing is because we're not just doing RC planes, although that's my favorite. Fixed wing is where it's at. We're gonna be doing boats. We're gonna be doing submarines. We're gonna be doing, you know, what's e-bikes that are on the water? What is that called?
Is that a thing?
Kayaks? I don't know. We're gonna find out. The Chinese will be sending emails immediately. So all I've got to say is we love doing this stuff for you here on Brian Phillips RC, and this is gonna be another runway. That's what the damn runway is gonna look like, roughly. It's gonna be flat, and it's gonna be a crosswind strip, and we're gonna have beautiful surroundings, and this bowl is gonna help protect us from some of the wind, or it's gonna exaggerate it depending on the direction of the wind. And that's why we want a crosswind. And if you guys haven't seen the solar panels, that's what they look like. So, because we talk about it sometimes. By the way, if you're thinking about solar, I think do we still have that link in the description?
I know it's on the website.
It's regional, guys. Like if you're up by Oregon, in the very far northwest portion of the country, or if you're in central Iowa, or like close surrounding areas, the guys that we used, they gave us a link. But I'll tell you what, they did a really nice job. And it wasn't like an affiliate thing. I mean, we paid full price for it, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
But it was an investment that we chose to make after years of poo-pooing the whole concept of it. We've got it, and I'm like, wow, I was wrong. It is so nice. And it is so nice to be able to say, no, we don't like you anymore, Mid-American, even though we gave them many dollars. We didn't like them to start with. But the thing is, if you ever want to know more about it, someday we'll do a video. But we also have backup batteries. That's the big chunk of it that we had to wait like 3 years for because they didn't actually have the system figured out yet. And now they do, and it's working, and it's awesome. So we love sharing this experience with you on Brian Phillips RC. If you guys want to see another plane, or you're hoping to see something, is that guy again? I hope it is. He's got to be close. I'll tell you when he pops out from behind the trees. We want to share with you, but we're not just remember, anything that comes in, it's gone. It's gone before it shows up. Trust me, because we are reinvesting every dollar times a factor of many times to do this, and we love it. And if you guys are going to Knoll, you're seeing this before Joe Nuke, just think the way Joe Nuke is set up at Triple Tree Aerodrome, they have 400 acres. It's an absolutely gorgeous 400-acre piece of land. It tapers down to a river. It's just amazing. Everything about it is amazing. If you've not been there, you need to check it out. And we'll be there so you can meet me in person and find out that I talk like this all the time. And I'll probably try to show you pictures of my pond. You'll be like, hey, Brian, I watched your video.
Yeah,
it's good.
Just tell me you saw the video.
Let me know you saw the video. Oh, yeah.
He'll still show you.
I'll still show you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we love this stuff. We love making high quality, long format content. We want to try to keep your attention, but we understand that, you know, sometimes you're looking for something quick and you got to get moving. That's just what happens, especially when we're out flying. Okay. I get it. I don't want to hold that against anybody, but the truth is the short stuff and, you know, the AI generated crap that's going to basically destroy our entertainment industry is a real bummer, because I like watching YouTube too, you know. I don't just make YouTube content. We watch a lot of YouTube. So I know that's hard to believe. But at the end of the day, we are making something crazy here. And I'm super fortunate to have a wife that supports me in it, because this is crazy what we've done here, and we love it. And when we're done, that's where the full scale strip is gonna be, at the crest of that hill to wherever our lot ends. And it's gonna go all the way out
Up here
and around.
Sorry for the sun.
Yeah. So that's gonna be one of the largest scale, like the biggest amount of space projects, but really we're just changing our agricultural property layout. So it's a little bit different. It's not gonna be near as expensive as this, I hope, but it's definitely gonna be a lot of dirt to move. And so that's why I want you, if you fly airplanes, if you're the guy that was flying over, we wanna talk to you on the phone. So hit us up in an email and we can coordinate something so we can make sure that we're investing money the right way. Because at the end of the day, people are gonna like the damn gift shop because they want their implements parked in there. They want their storage if they're out on a property like this, but they may not have airplanes. And so that's gonna be the first like really crazy thing we do. Because you know, we're gonna outgrow this property someday. Hopefully it's not too soon. But when we do, we gotta sell it to somebody else. So I can't make it too insanely Brian Phillips RC, unless of course you wanna buy it, so. And then when we get the next one, it's gonna be a longer runway. It's gonna be more area. And that's what we love doing. And guys, if you've ever met anybody that's really driven and obnoxious like me, then you'll understand exactly what's going on in my brain. So if you like this content, it's not gonna stop anytime soon. We appreciate you being here with us, and every little bit helps. So if you guys buy the planes from the links, it makes the difference between our success and failure. It really does, okay? So thank you for doing that, and thanks for being here, and thanks for staying tuned for these updates. We wanna bring you guys the best here on Brian Phillips RC, and that's why we're investing so much. All right, that's all you get for today, unless there's more. And if there is more, it may come at the beginning, it may come at the end, but we appreciate you staying tuned. Don't forget to smash the like button and come back for more. Oh, when you're subscribing, do the bell. That way you get notified, you'll know what's going on, and you'll see it before the rest of your buddies. You can brag about how awesome it is. I hope, maybe. All right, thanks for watching. Come back for more. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look what we got here, the Super Timber 1.7 3-braided prop, tons of power, smart system for ESC and motor. We've got super squishy pneumatic tires, refillable valves, spring-loaded suspension, LEDs here. They're all over the place. You have to wait and see that in the unbox. Removable leading edge slat on both sides, obviously. Vortex generator plugs if you don't want to have the slat so it doesn't look weird. Huge flaps. Yes, that's right, and you can take the wing off in literally seconds with these clips right here. If you look underneath, it takes seconds, and we will show that. But for now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fly this thing. We got a little bit of wind going. Oh, by the way, the tail feathers also come off. Throttle cuts off, a little bit of wind. It's gonna be a little confused. Oh, and then we forgot one of my favorite features. By the way, even the tail wheel is soft, okay, guys? So here goes nothing. Takeoff flaps, confused winds. Look at that thing bouncing around. Oh yeah, crazy power. Man, beautiful. Oh, and by the way, even those leading edge slats don't stop you from flying upside down. Beautiful. Full landing flaps. Let's watch this thing slow down nicely. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Watch this. Watch this. Right there. Little thrust reverse just to stop it. Guys, that's why we love the Timber. Amazing. And that's what we got right here. The Super Timber. It's not to be confused with the Turbo Timber. 3200 6S in there right now. Oh yeah, and don't forget telemetry. In fact, it's so bright I probably can't even show you the screen, but I'm gonna go over to where my battery is. And you can see there's lots of power left in there. We've only taken one short jump. Let's show you a STOL takeoff. Full landing flaps deployed up on the elevator. Oh yeah, you gotta go forward thrust, so. There it is, guys. Talk about ups. That's what we call ups. Camera crew trying to hit a cloud for you. Now, no, you don't have to fly it insane. You can also go slow. Or if you want, you can peel right out of it and fly it around like nobody's business, guys. I gotta say also, this will fly in safe. I'll show you what safe looks like. Oh, there's safe. So when you let go of the sticks, the plane automatically levels. Very beautiful, even with takeoff flaps or landing flaps. And as you can see, the wind is kicking. That's our limit up. Sorry, camera crew.
That's
I'm
all
gonna
right.
do a limit down on this pass. We're with the wind. That's limit down. So as you can see, you are limited on bank angles, both pitch and roll. But look at that thing, just does great. Now out of safe, and we'll just get right back to flying. You guys saw that when I pulled really hard on the elevator. We did get that weird roll again. Okay, takeoff flaps now. Landing flaps now. Look at this thing slow down. Even in the insane wind, we are able to just cruise along and fly it like we stole. Let's do an inside pass here. A couple steps back, please. Right there. Perfect. As you can see, that thing is gorgeous with the yellow. I love it. Getting up into a stall turn and then back down wind pass. Hard on the throttle, lots of rudder. Listen to the thing squeal. That thing will roll when you stall it. It is very weird. So that's the only tendency I don't like about this plane so far. It reminds me of flying a hybrid between the 1.5 meter. Now this, of course, is bigger. It's a 1.7 meter. And the 1.6 meter twin timber. And if they had a love child with the Timber X, that's right, 3 of them had a love child together. That'd be the Timber X or the Night Timber X. Guys, that's what you're getting here. You're getting all 3 planes rolled into one conglomeration of awesomeness. And I gotta say, if you haven't ever flown a timber, full landing flaps on the way downhill, slow it down. You need to get your hands on one. Check this out. From almost a stop to just straight up, the thing does exactly what you want. And by the way, just to show you the windsock, okay, take off flaps down. Look at this, guys. That thing is screaming like crazy. Those leading edge slats, they love to scream. The windsock is kicked out, guys. Nice flat turn though, a little contrary rudder. Keep those wings under you. Keep that airspeed where it needs to be. Don't forget you're flying, you're not driving. Love the yellow. Let's go over by the bowl. Takeoff flaps now. A little bit of rudder. We did back off the takeoff flaps. They want a little bit more deployment than what we actually did. And we did a little bit more elevator correction. We're up to 12 on landing flaps coming out. Now check this out, guys. Right down. Those landing gear will take anything you can hand it, okay? And then it'll stay nice and crispy while you're doing it. And that's why I love flying the Timber. It is something else. If you guys want to help support Brian Phillips RC, look no further than the links in the video description below. You can buy one, make it part of your hangar, and really enjoy a good time. We got about 15 minutes of flight time, plus a little bit of downtime. It was more like 18 something, but we cut out a few minutes in our estimate because 6S 3200, we went one click forward. There is a removable battery tray, and that battery tray makes it super easy to load and unload the business end of this model. I would suggest flying it on 4,000 or 5,000 if you want to get a longer flight time, but goodness gracious, guys, 15 minutes is a long flight time, folks. Okay, so thrust reverse, squishy tires front and back, pneumatic tires front, wheel fairings that are plastic and serviceable. Every cover you need to get at is screw on, including the spinner, including the motor mount. I mean, everything about this, they have designed it to be just an amazing serviceable experience, okay? And then you don't have to fly it like you stole it. You can fly it like a real plane too. And even though we've got crazy windiness going on right at the moment and lots of upset, turbulent crosswinds, we're just having a really good time flying it. Now, is this experience better than the SWS, the 2 meter? No, but it comes at almost half the cost, guys, and look how big it is. Folks, look at this crab we've got going on. That is amazing. Look at that crab. Something else, keeping it nice and flat and crispy. The AS3X is a little bit loose on this plane. I was surprised. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Timber X. I try to do a nice barrel roll here, keep it nice and clean. Then into the full landing flaps. Let's see if we can bring it in here slow. And then go straight into a prop hang. even in the crazy wind, and almost lost it, guys. But you got power to get out of trouble. Take off flaps now. As you can see, just doing a little pull dance for you. That's why everybody's on Brian Phillips RC, obviously, for the pull dance. Love the yellow. Okay, you're gonna get out of the way, yield the right away to the traffic. But guys, if you want an amazing experience, look no further than the 1.7 meter landing flaps now. Timber, super timber. And if you guys haven't ever experienced the 1.5 meter, where have you been, guys? It's one of the most popular planes out there, and it's very well done. But then you get this and you're like, wow, that thing kind of sucks compared to this. And I gotta say, bang for the buck, man. It just does it, and it does it really well. Now, this plane is probably not for the faint of heart in crazy weather like this, where you've got, you know, windsocks. Here, let's go dance with it. Let's see if we can actually get blown backward. Okay, look at this, guys. Yeah, it's so windy, I can fly backward, okay? I'm going backward in the air, and I'm not really a great pilot compared to some of you. I know you could do that without thinking, but I just want to get down here so where we could reach out and touch that windsock. And I'm just showing you, this is the confidence you're going to get when you fly this super timber. Guys, I'm on almost a dead battery, meaning, oh yeah, there it is. Almost a dead battery, meaning we've probably got another 4 or 5 minutes left, which is crazy. The yellow pops up against the green trees. It's gonna look great in the middle of fall. This is the best livery I've seen, and that includes the SWS, which is red and white. And it's not a bad look, but I love yellow. Yellow pops in the sky. You can see it against so many different backdrops. And look at the distinguishing color differences. The bottom has the invasion stripes, the top has the nice zigzags. And I love the differentiation between the top and bottom with that beautiful LEDs all over the place. The LEDs are at the bottom or the root of the bogies. And let me tell you something, they are gonna look something fierce when we get into a sunset experience. Okay, now takeoff flaps only. Our grass is very tall here, but I'm gonna see if I can get up right next to the house, and we'll show you on short grass, some grass hops, okay? So grass hops here. Obviously you can take off from tall grass, but I'm gonna just show you this. I wanna see if I can drag it out and make it look sweet. Jump it up. Oh yes. And then right into the turbulence around the side of the building, right off of the damn gift shop that doesn't quite exist yet. Now I gotta say, even in the crazy wind, this thing is doing well. And the only bad tendency I can tell you is when I jank on the elevator really hard, it does stall nasty, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about right now. When I get into configuration, I'll tell you. Okay, so here we are flying. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of stall it. I'll do a power off. Look at that tip drop, okay? That's a power off stall. Just checking for manned aircraft real quick. I'm not sure where he is.
He's way up.
Way up? Okay,
way up
so
there.
we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you, camera crew. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna be power on stall, jank it. Look at that. See how it falls over to the side? I've noticed this one does it every time. And I've had it happen a couple of times now. Yeah, okay, let's go fly in formation with the big boy, big girl. Check it out, full landing flaps. We're gonna slow it way down. Guys, look, you can just imagine it was my noise. Look at that, there it is. Do you see it in the frame?
Yeah.
Okay, there he is. Okay, out of the throttle. And the funny thing is, you've got so much power, you can overwhelm that one weird tendency, but I just don't want you guys to think it doesn't exist, because if you don't think it exists, you may end up without a 1.7 meter. Love the scream, that's crazy. Those slats. So guys, here we are. We've got about probably 20% left on battery. Obviously, I'm dressed a little bit nicer than usual for this video, and you might be wondering why that is. Let's just say somebody died, so I would have to wear this outfit, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. And the truth is, we appreciate you guys being here with Brian Phillips RC. The camera crew appreciates it, and then our 4 kids and our family. We're lucky to have such a great family. And I'm not just talking about the family that loves us, that lives in our house. I'm talking about the family here on YouTube that helps support us in all these crazy RC addiction style things that we do. Because at the end of the day, we share a common interest, and that common interest is, of course, flying these RC aircraft. That was janky, sorry guys. I got a little bit nervous there. Never be afraid to save the plane and look bad. I'd rather have a plane in one piece than have my pride in one piece. You know what I mean, Gene?
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say something too with the leading edge slats. Oh, we're getting pretty close to battery dead, so I'm going to go ahead and get down runway. You're good there. Yeah. You want to go toward the ball if you want a closer shot. I'm going to just bring this thing around out of the flaps. Yeah, we're definitely low on power. Okay, here we go, guys. Takeoff flaps, landing flaps, and here it is. We'll just bring it right down to our feet. Oh, or there. So guys, this plane does it, and it does it well. We do have a little bit of juice left. I don't know if you guys can see that. I can see in person fine, but on camera sometimes things don't always show up as good as we'd like. Okay, throttle cuts on, forward thrust, and we're out of flaps. Amazing experience, really fun plane. I hope you guys will seriously consider getting one. And yes, it is another timber, but it's a bigger timber. Remember, a 1.5 compared to a 1.7, that's a considerable difference in size. And the SWS is a considerable jump in price, but it again is a considerable jump in size, okay? You go from 1,700 to 2,000, that's only 300 millimeters difference, and you're talking about almost double the price. But it's balsa wood, glass windows, lots of features, everything is really well done. The only thing I long for on the SWS is this landing gear and those tires. I'm hoping they give us something that we can adapt onto it that's like this, because that landing gear is awesome. Now, is it as awesome as the twin timber? Yes, I think it's better because the soft tires are a perfect complement. The only thing I don't like about these is that the springs are so stiff. But with soft tires, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like, which one do you want? I think the stronger springs are going to allow for more serviceability and longer service life, so I like them. But do I like the fact that they're as stiff as they are? No, because I didn't have a big problem breaking my springs, but I know a lot of you guys did. So it comes with your experience. Now, if you come with me, camera crew, I just want to talk about this plane for a minute. Oh, in fact, I can taxi it over. Let's do that. Full up elevator. The thing does amazing in the grass. It does amazing on hard surfaces. It does amazing. It does not come with floats. It comes with all the goodies to adapt the floats. And I gotta say, the thing is second to none in beauty. I like the way the plane is designed. I like that I can take a wing off in seconds. I can also take off the horizontal stabilizer in a few seconds. Only problem is you have a ball link you have to disconnect on one side, but they're fairly easy to get off these ball links compared to some that we've had in the past. So I gotta say, I love the yellow. I love the black highlights. I love the white. It really is easy to see. It does exactly what you want, with the exception of when you pull hard on the elevator and you get that thing into a stall. I don't know if it's washout from the wing, it just tips really bad. And maybe that's just mine doing it. I hope it's just mine. If you guys have the same experience, leave it in the comments below. But other than that, one strange habit, and I gotta say, I had a hard time flying my 1.5 upside down because the leading edge slat is longer, and I don't know why that causes such a big difference in flight performance, because I felt like it's really heavy on the elevator when I'm upside down. It could also be where I'm riding my CG. Speaking of CG and speaking of serviceability, look at this, guys. I didn't even talk about this in the other flight. This is how you get to your, here, I gotta probably have the camera crew hold that for a minute. So right here, it's so easy to get in there. You can get right to your receiver. Offset hinges here. Look at this is so perfect. Look how nice those ball links are. Super, super smooth action. And then of course, inside of here, you've got nice plastic all the way around the parts that normally wear and tear. And by the way, since this is a float capable plane, you get the 15 series floats, is that right? 15 size. It makes it easy to load your batteries. They also come with splash guards, and there's an apparatus that goes down to the rudder, and so it works really sharp. And you do control the rudder mechanically from this rudder, okay? So also, I just want to point out, all you have to do is push this forward, lift this up, slide this forward, and your battery tray comes out. I'm gonna leave it in there because I gotta carry this in a second, and I'm riding all the way forward. I like the way it flies a little bit more forward than they suggested. We got the CG spot on, and we were like one set of holes back. There, you can go all the way back. Like the battery completely buried in there, okay? So if you're looking for a great experience and you want something that's gonna hit the spot in a lot of different areas, look no further than the 1.7 meter Super Timber from E-flite. It is amazing, guys, and I really do have a soft spot in my heart for E-flite because we've always had really good luck with E-flite products. That doesn't mean there aren't other good brands out there, but I can just tell you this, guys. A lot of them, you have to make them work. These things are bind and fly. They come out of the package. You just set them up. You follow our instructions on the Unbox Build Radio setup, and you're set, and you're good to go, okay? So that's why we love them. And we love recommending them to you because you almost can't go wrong with them. Now, yes, I do understand it's another timber, and some of you are going to be concerned about that, but let me reassure you. They're some of the most popular planes for a reason, because they are good flying, they're beautiful, they hold up well, and they're just a great flying experience, okay? So if you got the 1.5 and you're thinking, you know, I don't need a 1.7, I guess I could understand you saying that, but just remember, this flight experience is very different. If you have the 1.5, but you don't have a Timber X, or you don't have a Night Timber X, I would highly suggest you consider this as a hybrid, okay? Now, if you have the 1.6 meter twin, they do fly a lot alike, I think. Some might not agree with me, but I feel like they fly a lot alike, but the twin timber is so dang capable. It's almost like, for me, it's almost I lose interest in it because I want to still have to fly the plane. This one gives me a little bit more difficulty in when I pull up, it likes to stall in that weird way. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It just means you have to fly it. I like needing to fly a little bit because as I advance in my skills, I want to need to fly the plane a little bit. Also, I wanted to say, it is very windy right now. You know, the midday, it's going to be turbulent out here. We'll try to get a flight in the dead calm of evening or close to dead calm right before sunset, because these LEDs are going to be second to none as well. Strobes on the wingtips, anti-crash beacon top and bottom, and tail light on the top of the tail feathers. And yes, that's on the rudder, not on the actual horizontal or vertical, excuse me, the vertical stabilizer, because the rudder is like most of the surface. Also, I just want to point out, look at the control surfaces. Look how much play you have here, guys. That is a crazy amount of movement, folks. So yes, you can force this thing into circumstances that are unusual and probably a little bit, you know, out of the normal realm in general aviation. That's fine, okay? You don't have to do that, but you can do that. Prop hangs are no big deal in this plane unless you've got a lot of wind like we've got right now. That windsock is almost straight out. That doesn't mean that it's like unflyable. It just means that when you have confused winds, when it's going from this direction to that, it does make it kind of difficult. There's more skilled pilots that would do it all day long, just not me, okay? This plane is gorgeous. It checks all the boxes, and I know you guys are gonna want one. Also, if you pre-order, which I know pre-order is a big bad word for most of you, you're not gonna be waiting but a couple of weeks. Unless you're in Europe. If you're ordering from our EU links, thank you guys. If you're in Europe and you wanna help support us, that's super cool of you. But just remember, those aren't gonna ship until like mid-June is what we've been told, okay? So just, it's a ways out there, you know, it's a couple months. But if you're stateside, you're gonna be getting yours in just a few weeks if you order quick, okay? So I would suggest you do it. Also, I gotta say, we have flown 2 flights now. Our first flight was more calm, and we do have a little bit of an update on the pond, which is coming along nicely. It's not quite done, but it's exciting. So we hope you'll stay tuned. If you've already seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. If it follows, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Super Timber from E-flite, amazing. We'll link to the battery, we'll link to the transmitter, NX10 still. We'll link to the plane, obviously. Now remember, we're gonna link to the timber, so it's gonna have a lot of choices there for you. There's about like 10 of them, okay? Make sure you're looking for this one, okay? Yellow and black, it's the only one that's yellow and black, okay? And it's gorgeous, you'll love it. It's a great plane, you're not gonna be disappointed with this plane. Comes out of the box, relatively easy build. You do have to pneumatically pump up the tires, and it does come with the pump, okay? So those are rim glued tires. They are almost the same weight as the foam. They might be a little bit less, actually, if I remember right.
I think maybe a little bit.
Don't mark my words, folks. I'm sorry, but they're lighter by a huge margin than the Dubro tires.
Yes.
We have Dubro tires, and they've been good too. Okay, I got to turn my plane so it doesn't get tipped over. Full up elevator, a little bit of throttle, and we'll just point into the wind like that. Sorry, guys. So if you guys are curious about the pneumatic tires and whether or not they're going to be available for other aircraft, keep your eyes open. We'll have links to them as soon as they become available. They are phenomenal. and they will be making an appearance on every one of my planes that has foam tires that are big. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. By the way, there's a rub. You need to move out of the way. There is a rub. Oh, that's what I was trying to avoid. That's why I need you to move. Sorry, guys. We actually had to take the plane in because it's so dang windy, the thing was trying to tip over. Okay, so in closing, guys, the Super Timber is amazing. You're going to really enjoy it. If you want to help support us, buy one from the links in the video description below. That's the best way you can support Brian Phillips RC. Other ways to support us, super thanks, YouTube members, monthly support, Patreon, monthly support, and PayPal. So we appreciate you guys being here with us. If you want to know more about what's going on in this video, leave it in the comments below. We'll try to answer the questions. Also, we're going to be at Null, guys. Null is awesome. 400-acre aerodrome. Amazing. 10,000 sometimes people living the RC dream together. It's so cool. Our little aerodrome that we're trying to build here is going to be at max like 24 acres. So it is a lot bigger and very amazing. So we hope to see you there. We're going to be there starting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll be taking off at some point. We are flying in on an airplane, on an airliner. So that means that we won't be able to bring a lot of stuff with us. So if you'd like us to fly your plane, or just meet us in person, which is also cool, either one, hit us up in the emails in the About tab, okay? What else? Oh, we'll be arriving on Tuesday, but we're not sure if we're gonna make it out Tuesday. It depends on how long it takes to get out of the airport, rental car, get checked in the hotel, get our crap dropped off, and then make it back out to the aerodrome. We love being there though, and it is so much fun, guys. If you've never been to Joe Nuke, you gotta hit it up. I'm serious, it's very fun, okay? Did I leave anything out?
I don't think so.
Okay, guys, so E-flite, good job. Amazing plane, amazing product. Another timber. Good job. Keep bringing them. As far as I'm concerned, they're great. I love them. And by the way, if you want the SWS, they are similar in flight performance, but not the same, okay? Just remember, the SWS is going to be harder to transport. It's going to be considerably more expensive, but it's going to be a longer lasting plane. Unless, of course, you crash them. I mean, you crash any plane, they crash, right? But the truth is, they're both very good, okay? But this is going to be a sweet spot for a lot of you. You want a little bit bigger, a little bit more intensity than the 1.5. But I got to say, the 1.5 is great too. And I got to say, the UMX is really good too. I'm not crazy about the 1.2 meter size, the Night Timber and the Night Timber X, because that's not my flying style. I don't do a lot of 3D. But the thing is, this thing is going to give you the best of all worlds. And it's going to do it on a budget better than, there's a plane, guys. It's going to do it on a budget better than the SWS for most of us, okay? That's not to take anything from having a balsa wood plane, just to be clear, guys. So if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll try our best to get to them, and we hope to see you at Null. Guys, there's so much more right around the corner on Brian Phillips RC. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. What do we have here? This is the 1.7 meter Super Timber. It is a brand new from E-flite, absolutely gorgeous. Pneumatic tires that are super light, spring-loaded landing gear with serviceable fairings. We've got lights down here, lights up here, lights on the wingtips, removable leading edge slats on both sides, and if you take them off, then you can put on Vortex generators in each position, 3-bladed prop, short nose like we had on the original Timber, different style wing, plastic around the canopy area so that it won't damage even on the black part, removable and adjustable battery tray, flies on 3,200 to about 5,000 6S or 4S, accessible tray to get to your receiver, which is an AR637A. And then, as you probably have already imagined, oh yeah, quick release main wings and tail feathers, not the vertical stabilizer or horizontal, it's just the horizontal stabilizers. Throttle cuts off and thrust reverse, as you can probably imagine. It even has a squishy tail wheel, folks.
It's so good in reverse.
I mean, it's probably one of the easiest to control we've ever had in reverse. Takeoff flaps, here we go, guys. Get that thing flying. And by the way, I was dragging that sucker out right there. So if you've never experienced the Timber, any of them, sorry, my, You guys see how easy this is to fly? I'm flying it with sunglasses in my hands. Look at this. And by the way, if you ever get in a situation like that, perfect time for safe, because I turned safe on, and now I can put my sunglasses back on my head. They flipped over. Did you see that?
I didn't.
So guys, look at this. This is safe. If you don't know what safe is, it's sensor-assisted flight envelope. When you let go, it levels the plane. It automatically limits your bank angles, your pitch angles, and it auto levels when you let go of the sticks. Now, it does not stop your plane from stalling, but you can fly this thing, and it's easier if you're brand new. But just remember, you do need some real estate. You can still coordinate your turns, and let's show you one safe landing. We almost never do that on Brentfield's RC anymore. But look at that, guys. Not even hardly trying, and they're safe. And one of the best things about safe is that if you don't know how to fly, you can get started right away. And that's what's beautiful about this plane is it's really not that hard to fly, but it can be, so just bear with me. All right, so thrust reverse so we can get away from the super tall grass. And there it is, guys. We're gonna do some grass hops, takeoff flaps. Here we go. Full throttle. There it is. Full landing flaps on the way back down. Takeoff flaps now. And so if you guys don't love the yellow and white, I certainly do. It's absolutely gorgeous. Full landing flaps now. Just like our evening sunset. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fly around the pole a couple of times, and then we're gonna give you guys a shot over our other bull. Did I say bull?
You said around the pole. You're right.
Around the pole.
Yep,
to
and
the
then
bull.
we'll go to the bull.
See those barn doors? You wanna go over by the edge? Now we are flying on 4006S. This is the first time I've flown it on 4006S. I flew it with the second position. There's about, what, 8 of them? And all you do is you just latch the battery tray into whatever angle you want or whatever position you want, and it works super nice. But guys, all I've got to say is what a joy it is to fly. Let's show them some grass hops here. There it is. It even bounces on the grass if you're not careful because those pneumatic tires are so phenomenal. Okay, by the way, you can change the pressure in the tires up on the mains and then get her flying like a real one. So gorgeous. I want to see if I can hit the grass, sort of right in front of us here. There it is. Look at those splaying landing gear are absolutely fantastic. Look at that, guys.
Sounds cool.
And I love the yellow and white. It looks fantastic. By the way, this is no fair weather flyer. I'm not sure if we're gonna show you the suit flight, but you'll understand when you see it. We did fly it in some kind of crazy winds earlier today during the heat of the sun. Oh, and then one weird thing about this plane is we have good symmetrical behavior upside down, which is something I haven't experienced on other timbers, especially when including the leading edge slats. Let's do one more landing here. Let's see if we can grease one in here. See, that's one of the best parts of this plane, guys, is you don't have to grease it in. And that's part of the reason why I love flying the timbers. Because at the end of the day, if you guys want to see how much time you have left to fly, all you have to do is scroll over a couple of clicks and you can see the telemetry. Now, this is a TA, a 637 TA, which means you don't have the barometer, but I don't need that anyway, because that just tells me how high I wasn't supposed to be. Woo! Look at this. Guys, I just love it. It's so incredibly powerful, and that's on 4006S. Now, if you're using a 3200, it is definitely more agile, and it's gonna fly even more like the Timber X. And you might notice the wing style is kind of like the Timber X as opposed to the 1.5 meter timber or the Timber SWS, which is 2 meters, and that's a balsa wood plane. And by the way, I feel like you get kind of the best of both worlds in this without going to the full crazyville with the twin timber, which is 1600 millimeters. This is 1700 millimeters. It is feature packed. It's got everything you need or want in a timber. And then if you get in trouble, guys, look at this. It's just, you can just do whatever you want. It's got enough power to get you out of trouble. Here's takeoff flaps now. And just like with any other plane, you just get to where you're flying again and then you're fine, okay? Now, you still don't want to get cornholed in a nasty spot, but look at this, guys. This is bone stock. You know, I haven't done anything special to it, except I did set up a little bit less takeoff flap so I can use it whilst flying. And I gotta say, I love the 135 millimeters of inflation on the tires. You're supposed to keep them under 4 PSI. Of course, most people don't have the right type of utility in order to check. Well, unless you fill up a lot of balls. Like footballs, baseballs. Yeah, if you put air in your baseballs, you're a special baseball player. You guys hear the scream? That would be your slats if you put them on. I love the scream. Take off flaps now. Guys, that thing looks phenomenal. And I gotta say, those little lights in front of the wheel fairings look so good. Oh, and this is what I was trying to show earlier. You see the nice symmetrical upside down? Give it like 5%. It just does what it's supposed to do, and it does it on demand. Now, the only weird thing I've noticed about this plane, and we've mentioned it in each of our 3 flights, is just for the simple fact, I want you guys to be aware, there is a weird stall tendency on mine. I'm hoping it's something wrong with mine, but I don't think so. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get set up. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. High G maneuvers. Okay, so here we go. Power off, power off. We're gonna stall. Look at how it tips. It tips really far to one side. Now that went to what would be my right as a pilot, okay? So now watch this. I'm gonna go back up. We're gonna do a power on stall. Sorry, can I go down for the blue skies there? Okay, so power on about 50%. Look at that, tips like violently to the
right.
To the right.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is, but I've noticed it on 3 occasions. About 3 steps to your right, please. Right. But one thing you're gonna notice is that this plane flies phenomenally, except for that one tendency. And I don't understand exactly why that is, because I don't know that I can remember it happening on others. So I wonder if there's just something about my slats, or maybe even something I did wrong. But either way, guys, I love this plane. I love the way it flies. It's extremely controllable. Let's see a wheels down. Let's see if I can, just one wheel. See, that's the only thing about the pneumatic tires. I haven't quite figured out exactly how to get it down without getting that bounce. And I think it's just gonna come down to greasing the landings or put the PSI a little bit higher so there's just a little bit less bounce. Oh, but guys, look at the grass off. So I'm gonna just take it around here. Okay, take off flaps now. Whoa. Even in the tall grass. Okay, guys. Well, I've managed to crash it several times so far today, just mostly because I'm hitting our tall grass. I did cut the grass today, so it looks nice, and that gives us a better representation of what you might be experiencing in your flight field. But just keep in mind, our grass is not super smooth. Okay, a couple thoughts while we're down on the ground. We have about 35, 40% left on our power. This thing is super robust. We have flipped it twice like that now today, and we haven't broken our vertical stabilizer or any other part of our plane. It just handles the jar, and it does well, okay? When you come in and you hit, and by the way, that light is on the top of the rudder, which is super cool. Let's give these guys a different angle. Let's do some straight up grass ops here. Okay. All right, you ready? You guys, oh, that's the one thing you gotta watch for, is she will pull herself into the ground if you're not careful. Man, it sounds awesome. Sounds like a real plane. I don't understand why. I mean, if it was electric, it would sound like a real, it is a real plane, it's just small. Full landing flaps here. You guys see what I'm talking about? This thing will slow itself down to a stall. So you gotta be careful, because that's the 3rd time I've done that. Now, it's also not broken, you may notice, and that's really nice, because I'm gonna tell you something. I have flipped over my timbers many times doing stupid things like that. But just remember, you gotta give it throttle to keep it coming to the ground. Okay, so takeoff flaps for me are set into the throttle. And I love getting it up on the mains. I'm gonna go up on the runway here. You guys see those big bumps? Handles it like a champ. There we go. Little stall turn here. Sorry about the blue skies, camera crew.
You're good.
Out of the throttle. Take off flaps now. You hear the scream? That's so weird. Guys, let's hit the hole. Let's hit the hole. Now, by the way, it's not dead calm right now, but it's pretty dang close. Okay. Love the sound, folks. Now, if you wanted to fly a little bit more like the Timber X, one suggestion would be to go ahead and fly it with the provided and installed out of the box factory Vortex generators. The Vortex generators go into each of the positions where this would normally click together. And you can take them on and off as many times as you wish, but I do tend to think that they're gonna break eventually because of the way that they mouth on to the actual clip. I'm kind of thinking that we're gonna lose that plastic after a bit. So I would suggest kind of make your decision and go with it, you know? The good thing is if that breaks, it's breaking on the apparatus that's attached to the wing and not the wing itself. And you'll see if you watch our unbox build radio setup. Now I gotta say, if you've never experienced the Timber, generically speaking, the Timber is a phenomenal flying airframe. It's very fun. It looks absolutely fantastic. And this is probably my favorite looking one, which is funny because I have the SWS, and even though it's balsa wood and it is a big, nicer, more expensive plane, I love a yellow plane. In fact, I think in our unbox, I may have even said, I wish it was yellow. I don't know if I said it on camera, but I kind of meant it. Full landing flaps here. Let's see if we can do a short field landing here. Oh, not quite short enough. And that's one thing that's weird about this prop. Look at the efficiency. It's very fast in reverse, which is unusual. So as you can see, you can get up in the air quick, but did you see we got that weird high-speed stall going on? Mm-hmm. You see that? It dipped the right wingtip when I came out of that. So I guess what I'm gonna say is, you might just kind of want to be aware of it, that it can happen, and then maybe practice a little bit on some power on stalls and power off stalls. But like I said, if I find out there's something else going on, camera crew, you want to come in the middle of here. So now the other thing too is flight time is a huge factor for many of you, up to and including myself. Flight times are extended by LEDs, although I must say they are not the brightest LEDs we've seen. The front ones are pretty bright, but the side ones aren't as intense as the other 1.5 meter, which is just kind of weird. But they still have cool feature-packed LEDs. Obviously the green has a white flashing, and then the red has a white flashing. And if I remember right, they alternate, but it's kind of hard to see them at the same time. Mm-hmm. So that being said, also the wing design makes it so that you don't ever see them at the same time, similar to the way it would be on a real one. So now, the other thing too I've noticed about this plane, this being our third flight, is that you get long flight times. I think I said that a little bit and I kind of cut myself off. But we had about 15 minutes of pretty harsh flying on 3200 6S. Man, that thing screams like all the time. Oh, by the way, distinction from up and down is very good. Even in a situation like this, where you're talking about having, now takeoff flaps. Even when you're in a situation like this, where you've got a little bit of backlighting, look how good that is for visibility. And those forward-facing lights really help. Down the runway. Guys, look at that. Absolutely phenomenal performance from the Timber. And there it is, guys. I'm telling you, just bone stock, nothing special, and yours truly flying. It's not like some super expert pilot doing that. It just has the power, it has the authority, and it has the looks, it has the weight, it has the feel, it has the features, it has the pneumatic tires. Guys, what does this plane not have? Horizon is listening, and we love that. Because some of the stuff they make is amazing, and they're just really stuffing all the holes, which is the way we like it. Okay, so slip, 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 slip. Thrust reverse! So you can still do the super ultra short takeoffs and landings if you want. I'm gonna just do one short field takeoff here, forward thrust. I have full landing flaps engaged, which is gonna make it actually probably not wanna lift the tail, but we'll see. There it is. So it's still about 10 feet, which is ironic because you can do the same with a Carbon Z Cub and it's bigger. But wing loading is probably a little bit lighter, I'm guessing. It's kind of hard to say. This is not the lightest plane we've ever flown in our days, but it flies light on its feet, okay? Which is very unusual that you would get a heavier plane that just does fantastic. Now it's because the wing loading and the surfaces are huge and very high quality servos. So as with most bind and flies from Spectrum, from E-flite, they're using Spectrum gear. So you finally got a nice touchdown. And I gotta say, that's one of the reasons why we love these bind and flies is because you just get it. You get it, you don't have to wonder if it's gonna be good. You can watch a Brian Phillips RC video and see if I'm excited about it. Obviously, I'm excited about this one. Guys, when I heard there was another timber, I thought another timber, just like you are. But trust me, this thing is phenomenal. It answers every unanswered question we've ever had. Inside pass, 3 steps toward me. It answers every question that we've had and every desire that I've wanted on the timber, with the exception of glass canopy on a foamy. Now, the glass canopy admittedly would have been cool, but I gotta say, the glass canopy would have made it more expensive and it would have complicated things, probably added unnecessary weight. So I can tolerate it because we have good lights, we have overall good looks, we have good flying features, and everything comes out of the box that way with the exception of floats. Now, if you want floats, they include all the apparatus to make the floats work. The 15 size float set is all you need to buy. And to be honest, for some of you guys, it's gonna be like, hey, no big deal. I didn't really plan on using them. But at the same time, we're just getting done with our pond, so it's a little bit annoying. Like literally it's filling up with water right now. And we get a plane that we would definitely use floats on. Guys, look at the ups. That is just incredible. You guys see the high-speed stall tendency there? Even at the top, it's like no matter where you do it. And I don't know, folks, maybe I'm misunderstanding something here, but I have my battery 1 click in from the end, so I could go a little bit more nose heavy, might help a little bit with that. And 4,000, as far as I'm concerned, it's every bit as good as 3,200. 3,200 came highly recommended from the factory guys, and I'm just gonna tell you this, I love it on 4. I think I'd love it just as much on 5. And we can just fly this forever, feels like.
Yeah, we're almost 20 minutes of video.
Well, but we were down for a little bit because I flipped it twice. Okay, full landing flaps here. Slip, 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 slip. Dragging it out. Thrust reverse. Now I gotta say also, ground handling is a little bit less precise because of the inflatable pneumatic tires. But I gotta say, I love the way it handles the transition from pavement to grass, okay? Hey, come toward me, please. Perfect, thank you. Okay, so take off flaps. Once you get it pivoting on the mains like that, it just it likes to keep pivoting, so you gotta be Johnny on the spot with your throttle management, and I have not been very good on this video. But it's okay, because it's forgiving. It really is. Keep in the throttle, Brian. Keep in the throttle like you were telling the people. So as you can see, you don't need a huge area to take off and land. And to be honest, if I was pushing it, I could be way more aggressive. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna go through that hole in the trees. You guys see that? I mean, it's like not even hard to try. I mean, I was at like 40% throttle on that takeoff, okay? If I came back down, I don't think I can get it in time. I was thinking, can I put it down on the same spot, folks? Now, some of you are probably cringing as I make those high G turns. And that's the thing, I just want to keep that wing loaded. Keep the plane flying on the wing, okay? And there it is, guys, right to the parking spot where we just took it out of. I'm gonna say, This is a great flying plane. It's amazing. It's got all the things I want as a pilot, and I think you guys are gonna like it, so definitely check it out. Links in the video description below. Obviously, I'm gonna get away from this hole in my yard. If you guys wanna help support Brian Phillips RC, one suggestion, buy from the links. That's probably the best way you can financially support Brian Phillips RC. If you wanna do Patreon, PayPal, YouTube Super Thanks, or YouTube members, any of those things are much appreciated, but the truth is we really just want you guys flying, because I almost feel dirty asking for Patreon, PayPal, all that stuff, and I do it every video. We started doing that a few years ago because people asked. I was very reluctant to do it for about 6 or 7 years. I was like, heck no. And then finally we just had a lot of people that asked, and we were like, whatever. We'll turn it on. We just want people flying. We want people enjoying the hobby with us. We don't want to be just like, you know, don't do as we do, just watch us do it. You know, that's stupid. Why would we do that, you know? I want you guys to be loving this thing just like I am. And I can tell you right now, when you get it out of the box, it's an easier build. You're not gonna have any big problems, but you might wanna check out our unbox build radio setup if you have questions or if you need help setting up the radio system. If you are new to the hobby, would this be a first plane for you? Maybe if you're coming back to the hobby, I think it'd be fine. But truthfully, there's better planes as a beginner, I think, really. This would not be a bad second or third plane, to be honest. You could totally do this as a beginner, but I just feel like the consequence ratio is gonna be high because with the quick release wings and stuff like that, I just feel like there's more going on than there are on some other models. And if you can get a model that has maybe a little bit less to break, you're gonna be less frustrated. And also, this plane is dang good looking. We kind of have this funny rule. We say, if it's your first plane, it needs to be ugly because it's gonna end up ugly. Now that's true for every pilot too, not just me. We know from experience, we've talked to lots of different people and they agree. You're gonna end up with a glue model by the time you're done. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. Nice bounce and go, Brian. And then for those of you that think, hey, I'm gonna go take this and fly it in the woods, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just more a matter of, I don't really like doing that. This is exactly the type of flying I love doing. I love flying it like it looks like it would be a real plane. And I do a lot of scale flying. So to be honest, I probably should be flying it on 4S. Okay, now that was my critically low, but it was my first church, so I should be totally fine. I'm out of the flaps, takeoff flaps now. The landing flaps will give you tons of drag, okay? So just use that with caution. Okay, full landing flaps now. See what I'm talking about? It just brings it to the ground in a hurry. Oh, also, I didn't mention this. Throttle cut's on now. Flaps are retracted. There is a scrape pad back here on the trailing edge. I managed to hit the leading edge as well. So when you do catch the trailing edge on the ground, ow, then you won't scratch the foam, but you'll still scratch the plastic. What's there not to like about this? Absolutely gorgeous. In terms of complaints, my only complaint is if there's something going on with my model that's not normal on that high-speed stall tendency, or when you just get into high G loading. I don't know if the elevator is maybe just like not quite keeping up or if it's deflecting or something. We have looked it over just to make sure it's not broken. There is a lot of carbon fiber in the wings and in the tail feathers. And we show that in the unbox build radio setup. And check out the movement, guys. Look at this. Look how far everything moves. Just incredible, okay? The full deflection on the flaps by default is here. I had to overdrive the servos past 100 to get them to park totally. So that means we got a little bit more than 100% normal throw. Now with Spectrum setups on bind and flies, we almost never set up more flap, but you could if you wanted to. And I can say this from my personal experience with the timber. My favorite timber was probably the first 1.5 meter. And here's why. No, I mean, I have the SWS now. Of course, that's gonna be my favorite because it's the most expensive, it's the biggest, it's balsa wood, it's gonna last the longest. But the truth is, I loved the 1.5. So I love that this is back to the shorter nose. One of the things I wasn't crazy about on the turbo timber which is still a very popular model and I still like it a lot, is that I always liked, I mean, it has the longer nose that would have supported the use of a turbine engine inside of it. So this would have had just a regular naturally aspirated, motor as far as I know. But a beautiful setup, a little bit shorter nose. There's just something about the geometry that gets it closer into the body like that. Also the Night Timber and Night Timber X are just kind of crazy for my taste. Sure, I can fly them, I enjoy them, it's fun, but it's not my go-to. For you, it might be, okay? Now, same thing on the UMX. I prefer the UMX Timber X only because it's got full-length flaperons and it's got the more powerful 3S setup, whereas the original Turbo Timber the Turbo Timber 1.5 in a small package that's UMX, that one flies on 2S still, if I recall. So I don't know if they'll redo that at some point, but that's the only reason I like the Ultra Micro in the X configuration, let's call it. Goodness gracious, another timber. I know that people are going to complain about it, and that's a fair assessment, but let's just remember something. They're good. They're really good. And so as far as I'm concerned, if we can get good planes, I'm good with it. Now, if you're not into this, I get it. The SWS just came out recently. Amazing, high quality product, and yet this one has more features. So someday, if Horizon's listening, I hope they're gonna give us this landing gear set that we can adapt to the SWS. Because I'm gonna tell you something, these pneumatic tires are game changers, even though I can't seem to bring it in and drag the wheels all the way down the runway. I think I had that problem with the full scale timber too, or I mean the 1.5 timber. So, beautiful plane, you guys are gonna love it. Definitely consider getting one from the links in the video description below. Not sure exactly how this video is gonna lay out, but we really appreciate you watching it. We've got 3 flights. I'm not sure if all 3 are gonna make it, but we had one in the morning. It was pretty bright, but it was calm. We had one in the middle of the day. I was wearing a suit. It was very windy. And not just windy, it was confused winds. We had about, let's call it, from here to here on the windsock, and it was almost all the way straight out. Now we've got light winds, but there are some gusts that are going up to probably 15 miles an hour. So we're getting like 3 to 6, just chilling. It's pretty good for this plane.
My guess is they'll be seeing this flight first.
Yeah.
And then the other flights will follow and
mostly because of the
lighting
clouds and stuff like that. And also, I gotta say, the 4000 gave us a huge flight time, folks. 23 minutes right now. We've been talking for a couple. So I'm gonna just say conservatively, we're probably talking about like 18, 19 minutes. And I did hit my first low voltage chirp, but I actually hit pulsing on my first flight on 3200 6S. Now also this will and does fly on 4S. And so if you wanna put it on 4S, that's fine. I'm just gonna tell you, whenever you fly one of these big planes and you fly it with 6S and then you go back to 4S, just don't get yourself in trouble when you're trying to come out of a hammerhead or something like that. Because my concern is you're gonna get in here and try to do this weird torque roll and you're gonna be like, oh crap, I got a 4S in there. Next thing you know, you're gonna crash it. And that'd be a bummer for everybody. So good job, E-flite, Horizon. We really like this. Love the Spectrum gear. Love the pneumatic tires. Probably, if I had to pick out my favorite feature on this plane, it's so stupid, it's gotta be the pneumatic squishy pair. I mean, I love me a good big pair that I can squish. And you probably do too. But second to none, this thing, I love the yellow. I love the livery. It's just amazing. It's not even that much different than the normal livery. It just happens to have yellow as a highlight.
Yellow.
And I love yellow planes. Now, it's not solid yellow, like the Air Tractor or anything like that. And I do like the yellow. It's a good poppy yellow without being like weird yellow. Because I never like it when they do like the banana yellow or like the weird fakey.
Like a lemony, neon bright.
Exactly.
This is a nice yellow. Yep.
So if they're gonna see this first camera crew, are we gonna talk about the pond at all?
Well, we can tell them where to see the pond.
Okay, so
because it's gonna get dark.
Yeah,
too.
because it's gonna get dark, but we wanna go look at the pond too.
Yeah.
So all we got to say is the pond is filling up, it's amazing, and we hope you guys will stay tuned because we are gonna try to do updates in our videos. We realize we leave our videos evergreen, which means they're not taken down, okay? We just leave them up, unless there's some massive problem, which we've had like 0 times.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. We had one that got a copyright violation because there was like a song in the background. It was like a 4-hour build and some stupid like like space music in the background I had playing in the middle of the night while I was soldering something.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think they're pretty much all up.
But we'll show the pond update at the end of the first, like the morning flight.
It'll just be in chronological order on that flight.
Yeah.
But this is, full disclosure, our third flight. This is not a virgin plane. We got it from product development. So it had been tested. And so that means like you're seeing it on, God knows how many flights it's had on it before we even touched it. So that should help you build some confidence, because when we get them, sometimes they're brand new, just like a retail packaging, ready to rock and roll. This one was in one of the white boxes. And that just means that it's been used and abused before we even got it. And I think it's in great shape. I mean, the plane doesn't show any signs of wear and tear. And we do have reinforced hinges on every hinge on this plane too, which is super nice. And that's, you know, when you start getting these huge throws, you just don't want to be having foam hinges, okay?
Yeah.
It's just not a good idea, because these things move so much and there's carbon fiber all over in them. And when you start getting these big, thick wing cords and big, thick control surfaces, you really need to make sure you've got something that's actuating inside the foam. So it looks like a pinch hinge, but it's actually got it's like a, I forget what kind they call that, but it looks like a hinge on a door, like a door hinge style. Same on the tail, same on the vertical stabilizer, which is super nice, guys, because we're just getting all the features that we've always asked for. And we're starting to get them all in one package, which is really nice. So what that means is hopefully they'll start adapting this to each model that either gets re-released or new models that come out. I realize we'll probably let down on that because sometimes they're trying to hit budget numbers or to be competitive with some other brand or whatever. But at the end of the day, we love these planes, and this is no exception. So if it's just another timber, just trust me, you want one.
Well, there's probably a reason that they come in like 6 sizes.
Yeah, that's right. So if you guys have questions or comments, leave it in the comments below. We'll try to keep this kind of short because we know you have a couple other videos to watch. We appreciate you being part of our little support network on YouTube. We hope we're bringing some value. And in exchange for that, if you buy from the links, that's how we end up making money on this channel. The predominant income sources from sales. So if you guys are watching the Unbox Build radio setup and you're getting some help, make sure you're smashing the like button too. That helps because we do long format on YouTube. They really punish us because they're after shorts right now, because shorts attract attention and they keep you there forever. And then they don't have to pay any influencers, hardly anything. So if you're an influencer, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I was not influencer, but like a YouTuber or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, at the end of the day, we love doing this stuff and we're super invested in it. And it's not just because I keep building giant runways on my property, because I'll be up to number 2, but I'm also building helipads and I'm building ponds for floats. It's like we're doing it right now. So it's like the real deal. All the money that's made on this channel is pretty much gone immediately up in smoke. Poof. And we could do it for like 10 more years and it still wouldn't be enough to pay for what we've already put into it.
Yeah.
So in case you guys are curious.
Actually, most of it's like buried in our backyard now.
Well, not most of it. There's still other areas that they haven't paid for yet, like the runway. But this one here will eventually be extended, and that's gonna be awesome. And then because of the obtuse angle, we knew we had to put some sort of like a sweep so we can make a turn and pull a trailer. And so I was like, if I'm gonna make a sweep, why don't I just, you know, use a few more yards of concrete and make a helipad?
Yeah.
And so it'll still be admittedly a pretty small helipad, and we'll probably land the helicopters over there if we're really flying helicopters, because there'll be an approach similar to this in front of the damn gift shop over there, which is our 60 by 80 building that doesn't exist yet. But that's the next thing that's going to start happening. As soon as we're done with the pond and we've had a chance to kind of live with the shape and position, then we're going to start extending this and then doing the damn runway, which is going to hopefully be paved. I'm not sure if it's going to be paved with asphalt or if it's going to be concrete, but we're still working through the logistics of getting utilities back to where the building's going to be. Yeah. So if you guys know anything about what I'm talking about, if you're not interested, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bore you, but it is our real life and we are really doing it right here on YouTube so you can follow along. And as it pertains to these large planes, oh, by the way, show them back here. You can see both lights now. You see how they're out of sequence on the flashing? So I don't know if they're like exactly opposite of each other or it's just they happen to be in different sequence. But either way, they're not in sequence together.
They're not in sequence.
Oh, and it looks like the green light sort of flashes too a little bit. Or is that just the glow of the white.
It's just the glow of the white.
It's just the glow of the white.
Watching that too.
Okay, so hopefully we've answered all your questions and then a little bit more. We really appreciate you guys being part of this as we share about our lives. Because remember, a lot of the stuff we're sharing with you, if you don't have the full scope of what we're doing, you might not understand why the pond makes a difference to our YouTube channel about RC airplanes, but it does. Because it is for the RC YouTube channel, in case you didn't already notice that. And same thing with the damn runway. That's going to be on, that's why we made design decisions based on all this stuff. Yep. So if you're curious sometime and we meet at Joe Nuke, ask me about it. I'll tell you a few details.
I'll tell you
everything.
All the details.
Oh, and by the way, that reminds me, if we're going to see you at Joe Nuke, hit us up. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to be each day. I think we had a couple things lined up with Horizon though. We're doing some special flight with them.
Wednesday
and
afternoon,
then
evening.
I think we're going to have another big flight with some other competitors. And then we've got one guy that's got an airplane that will go, whatever the limit is, minus 1 mile an hour.
Yes.
But it's probably going to be just slightly faster than that. Maybe a couple 100 miles an hour faster. But anyway, so I'm super excited for that. And for those of you who've already met us and we're going to see you at Nuke, can't wait to see you. And if you guys haven't ever had the opportunity to go to Joe Nuke, it's at Triple Tree Aerodrome in South Carolina. At what city?
Woodruff, South Carolina.
Woodruff, South Carolina.
Address.
Yep.
Yep.
So you have to be AMA to get in, but you can sign up there if you're not, right? Is that what we did last time? Yeah. So, you can be invited by somebody in the AMA.
And you can register on site. You don't have to pre-register.
Right. But I know that like sometimes weirds people out, but truth is the AMA thing is just an insurance thing for them. And honestly, I went out there expecting it to be some like big prude show and I could not believe how, first of all, how awesome it was.
Yeah.
And secondly, how not. Yeah. So it was good. You'll love it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing experience. It's like 10,000 people in a 400-acre facility, like living there. Except for us, we go to a hotel. And a lot of people do go to hotels and then they come in. So it's like, it's crazy the amount of people that are there that are just like you. They're probably bigger nerds than you. So that's why it's so much fun. And if we see you there, it'll be awesome. So if you see the camera crew holding the camera and we're talking, then that means we're filming. When we're done filming, we'll say hi. All right, but seriously though, we are going. Oh, and also if you have a plane you want me to fly, because remember, we're also flying out. So that means we can't bring stuff like this very easily. I mean, I could probably bring a transmitter, maybe an ultra micro. That'd be about as much as I'd be willing to carry on an airline. But if you guys have a plane you want me to fly, or you want to have us do like short clip or video or something like that, hit us up in the About tab. Send us an email about it. The comments will not be a good place for that because we probably won't see them in time.
They get missed.
Okay,
Yep.
There's so many of them. We do see the comments, we just don't always have time to reply to them. And if you guys send it in the About tab, that's the best way to do it. All right, guys, that's all we got for you today. Thanks so much for watching another super short video on Brian Phillips RC. There's more to come, and this plane is definitely well worth it. So if you haven't already ordered one, a couple weeks out for you that are pre-ordering, unless you're in Europe, and then you're out to like June. So
just only like a month and a half away.
Yeah, it's not a super long time, but it is definitely going to be a little bit longer on the shipments there.
Yep.
So if you guys are curious about that, we try not to talk about deadlines because sometimes they change after we've already filmed. But this one, we should be pretty sure about the timeline. So the first batch, and again, if you order and we've had this video released for 17 months or some such thing, then we have no idea.
Right.
And that's Joe Nuke 2024. If you guys are watching this next year or the following year or so on and so forth. All right, any questions? No? Nope. I don't see any hands. All right, stay tuned. More flights coming. We appreciate you. And more content right around the corner on Brian Phillips RC. Thanks for watching.